welcome back. Welcome to another, yet again, superb September Northumberland day. It is 11:30, high tide is at about 1 o'clock. Tides are minute at the minute. Probably yesterday was the smallest neap tide of the cycle. Today is the first tide where they start building, so we've gone from like a 2 metre ebb down to a 1.89, so it's still a very, very small tide, but they are slowly starting to make. We're at Newton by the Sea. I'm going to fish a mark that's known locally as the Chair. Nice, comfortable high water mark. There's a lot of cars parked here, to be fair, so I'm hoping it's not rammed with people, but as the tide drops I'll be able to get out onto the point and hopefully give myself a couple of options casting. So it's a bit of an away match today. So yeah, let's introduce you to the team. At the back in defence we have the Shimano Aerotechnium. He's got a pretty good record, very reliable, been part of the squad for about 5 years now. At the midfield we have the very, very badly behaved Ziplex HST Evo, and I say that because it's been stuck together for 3 months in my parents' garden. It's absolutely filthy. I cannot for the life of us get it apart. As you can see, I've tried to and failed miserably and ripped the shrink. It's going to my friends this afternoon after I've been fishing, who will one way or another be able to get it apart. So been a bit of a troublesome player recently, had to have a few fairly stern changing room talks, but he's going to have one more chance to redeem himself today. Up front we've got a couple of pulley rigs. Hopefully that's all we need. Probably not. We're probably going to have to make some substitutions today, because I'm sure we will take some injuries and probably lose a bit of gear, but they'll be doing the damage, hopefully doing the damage today. And the stars of the show that'll hopefully be scoring all the goals and attracting the fish will be the frozen peeler and the cart. Let's go fishing. Well, here we are at the Chair in Newton. I don't really think I need to say anything, do I? It's just says it all. It's absolutely incredibly beautiful here right now. It's 12:10. Just got a bait in the water, frozen crab bait on a pulley rig. There's a little slight bit of ripple on the water in front of us here, and then about 50 yards out it's just smooth. There's people on paddle boards on the other side of the point, seeing right up the Beadnell Point there. I really should have brought me binoculars actually. It's just a fantastic September's day, another lovely Indian summer's day. So as I say, we're at the mark, I'm pretty sure it's called the Chair, somebody might correct us, at Newton here, and because we've got about another 50 minutes till high water, it's a nice convenient spot. To be honest, I thought there'd be a lot of people wandering around here. There's not. It's absolutely fine. For the first 20 yards it's broken ground, and then for those of you that have been here at low water, you see probably 20-30 yards out it just falls away into heavy kelp, so it's perfect holding ground for any resident codlin or wrasse that are kicking about. So we're just going to get another rig baited up. I'm probably going to go combination of carp and frozen crab, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fish. I'm probably going to have, I reckon, maybe 3 casts here, 3 or 4. Probably vary the range, vary where I'm casting. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move round. I might either go, once the tide drops a little bit, I might go off the end of the point and cast kind of southeast into where I know there's more kelp around there, or I might head round into the top end of the haven, fish down and just kind of cover a bit of ground and see if I can pull something out. My only concern really is I still haven't been able to get any fresh crab, and fish in these sort of conditions, flat, gin clear, proper classic summer rock fishing for cod, I'd much prefer to have fresh crab, but we'll see how we get on. So yeah, Sunday the 10th September, and in possibly 48 hours from now, all of this is going to be totally different, because there's a big, strong northeasterly due to blow in up to 25 miles an hour, and it's going to push all of this in. It's going to stir everything up, and we're going to go from t-shirt summer conditions to winter conditions, where everybody will be trying to clock off work early, grabbing their gear and getting down onto the beaches with their headlights and hopefully chasing the first fresh run winter codling. So at least you get a good mix of fishing up here in the northeast. It isn't all bad, eh? Right, let's get another baited up. Sorry, another rig baited up. Sit back and just take this all in. What more could you want for a Sunday afternoon? And I'm not hungover either, which is a bonus. Rigs are the usual. £50 pulley rig, £50 amnesia snood, mustard Viking, 4.0 on the bottom, pennel, thinner gauge, 3.0 worm hook on the top. I'm alternating between circles and worm hooks just to try and reduce the chance of snags. As you all know by now, strong enough to pull in fish, but they do bend out, so you get a better chance of getting your gear back. £100 power swivel, 80 to £100 ASO mono. Rig body, bead, another £100 power swivel. That's got a splashdown. Little rotter with the angle narrowed a little bit. Length of weak line, couple of overhand turns to weaken it. Knot to one side. Plain 6-ounce sinker, ready to go. Bait, we have a combination of a bit of cart wing, which I'm just going to gently bind. Don't go too heavy on your elastic with cart, because you'll just slice into it and it'll just, I mean, it's going to turn to mush on the seabed anyway, but it'll just go really mushy, and it's difficult to bind on. Obviously if it's frozen it's a bit easier, but on a day like this it's melting very, very quickly. So I'm just lightly putting that into position like that. Then I've got a frozen crab that I collected in the spring. The problem I've had, well, it's not the best condition. That my freezer's really let us down a couple of times, and I've ended up coming in where it's kind of defrosted, and I've not lost bait, but you can tell when crabs thawed and then refrozen, it's got that horrible reddy black kind of colour to it. So it's not prime bait, sadly. But I was speaking to a guy who does a lot of cart, kind of supplies a lot of bait, and I explained to him, and he said, have you thrown those out yet? I said no. He said, right, well don't, because you might still catch fish on them, because he said he knows a lot of people that still use crab when it's defrosted and then refrozen and gone that sort of black colour, and he said they've done all right on it. So I thought, right, okay, well, in the absence of any other choice, I'll give it a whirl. So I'm hoping that big lump there just finds us. Look at that. I mean, it does look pretty tasty, that, to be fair, doesn't it? If you're a fish. I'm not really sure what would happen if you ate that. I suspect you'd be in the RVI fairly rapidly. Why I'm thinking of that, I've no idea. Right, so there we go. Nice panel arrangement. If there is anything out there and it's hungry, I'd hope it would take that. Get that hung on the rest, sit and enjoy the sun for 10 minutes and then change the bait. Right, this first one's been in a while now. Let's get some fresh bait on. What a cracking day. Got about another half an hour at high water. And then we'll see, depending on how it goes here, see if we can possibly get onto the point or into the top end of the haven. We've got options, which is exactly why I've decided to fish here today, just to have the ability to move about a little bit. I've set up and made life very, very awkward for myself, haven't I? Right, just going to pop this one slightly further up the left. I'm not going to go quite as far this time. Right, happy with that. You can almost see here where the in fact, now I'm up here and I look closely, if I'm not mistaken, I'll get the drone up in a minute to have a look, but you can actually see where the shallower kind of intertidal area drops off into the kelp, and then beyond that it actually goes into possibly a clearer patch. So I've just put that one a bit short. I'm right into the darker kelpy area there, but right, come on. Right, well, that big carton crab bait's been in for probably about 45 minutes, to be honest. And I've had absolutely nothing on it. Definitely in heavier ground there, but zero interest in that, sadly. So I'm going to put one a little bit further to the right. Again, I'm not gonna go too far because there's no need, because I don't need to be too far out for to get into that heavy kelp that I know is out there. Aye, tricky so far. Usually with this sort of fishing, if there are any fish in the vicinity, you do sort of tend to get bites and interest quite quickly. So if I don't get any interest whatsoever on this cast, I think it might call for a change. Again, going frozen crab and caught on that. I think I'm pretty much going to keep doing that all day. Right, come on. See what that does. Well, we've had 3 casts and 0 interest so far. As forecast, the weather is changing. Sun's gone in, well, just about. It's getting very, very grey from the west. It is forecast to rain today, probably at about 5 or 6, but to be honest, the way this grey sky's closing in, it might be a lot sooner than that. It's just definitely starting to get a bit darker, but As for the fishing front, not a touch. So I have given myself probably a little bit of a challenge today, because your typical kind of rock end fishing like this, you time it around low water, but it's just the way the tide's falling, and I've got to get back home tonight. So let's get this other rig baited up, keep fishing, and hopefully get something. Tough gig today at this mark. Not a bite. Been fishing for 2 hours. Baits are coming back completely untouched, so I'm going to shift. The chair hasn't produced anything today, so we're going to have a change of spot and hope that we reap the rewards. Right, well, arrived at the top end of the haven. As forecast, that southeasterly has picked up a little bit, but it's all right. It's just a breeze at the minute. And we're being firmly and rudely reminded that we are indeed nearly into mid-September. I've just seen a cracking sea trout jump out there. Wind's picked up, it's gone grey and overcast. Does look like it's going to rain. I'm just going to go for a straight frozen crab bait this time, just in case the fish are still, oh god, all over the shop here, still just wanting crab, which may well be the case. Sea's going to pick up during the week, so it might be that worm baits, mixtures of carp and stuff start to do the damage after dark when there's more fish competing for bait, but right now it might be that they're still just wanting crab bait. Anyway, whoa, nearly lost my foot and my ankle. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to get a bit wet soon. Well, I've been trying to brave it off, but I think I'm going to have to succumb to it, because it's gone very, very chilly now. And I'm sure it's just a matter of time until I get soaked. Does that mark the official end of summer, the change in weather over the last hour? Maybe it does. There's not a lot happening on this fishing front, although the tide is beginning to drop slightly quicker than what it has done. So if the rain does hold off, I mean, it wasn't forecast to rain until 5, which it's only 2:45 now, so if I am fortunate to get enough to get a bit more time, it might just mean that I can try and hit something. But at the minute it is absolutely deathly quiet. I think what I might do next chuck, oh god, I'm cool, And I've just felt the first drop of rain. Great. Well, this has been in probably a good half hour. Haven't had a touch on it, so I think I'm going to crank it in, get another bait out before that rain comes. Yep, nothing has gone near that. It's proven tricky today. The rain has indeed arrived, and I don't know if you can pick that up, but there's definitely a bit of thunder rumbling. So it's probably pretty much guaranteed that I'm not going to catch anything. I'm going to get soaked walking to the car, and I might get struck by lightning. The weather has completely changed, but to be fair, we've had a week of it, good weather. It was going to happen at some point, wasn't it? Well, this session has proved to be yet another difficult one out on the rocks. Tried a couple of different marks, cast at different spots, different ranges. Just haven't found the fish, which is a shame, but other than the last 20 minutes when this rain started to come down a bit hard and the winds picked up, it's still been an outstanding day for mid-September. Couldn't complain. This morning was really nice. So I'm just gonna get packed away, get myself back to the car, and hopefully the next video, Gary and I are going to be out next weekend, and hopefully between us we can catch some fish, because that's 2 sessions without any fish. I'm going to get a reputation for not being able to catch anything. So anyway, as always, thanks a lot for watching, thanks for your support, it is appreciated. Tight lines, keep fishing, we'll see you on the next one. Well, just to add insult to injury to finish off the day, because my rod is stuck in 2, I'm having to open the sunroof to get the rod in the car, and of course, obviously, in the haste to go fishing, even though I knew it was going to rain, I've left the bloody sunroof open, so the car is absolutely soaked. I'm livid. Dear God, I'm absolutely livid. Goodbye.